Hello guys, this is how I implemented this multi-factor authentication. I used the Python and Flask. These are different files. So trying to use the Python .py. So as you see this URL, the first thing that you have to do is to register. See, this is a login form, but here you have to create the new account. So let's say that was the name, then password. So then you register. See, we have a registration successful. Please log in. So for username, I have matter, then password. So for the first time that when you are going to log in, you have to scan your QR code. You see now, scan this QR code with the Google Authenticator for MFA. So when you scan this, the code that you get is what you type there. So here, to get Google Authenticator, you have to download it in your Android Play Store. So Google Authenticator, but this is for Android. You see, can you download it? So now let me scan. After scanning this, now I get a code. So now you see, welcome matter. We have a successful login with MFA. So guys, this is how it is working. Hello guys, now we're going to start a new project. So let's call it MFA. So let's use this window. So you have to terminate this. So now you're creating a virtual environment. So now as you see, when you try to run a Python, you see hi PyCharm. So guys, before we start, we need you to install some more libraries. Let me show you how to install it. The way to install, use Python install package. So the package that you're going to use, so I'm going to install, use this command, install. We're going to install Flask as a web framework. So we are also going to need Flask SQL Alchemy for database. SQL, it is a SQL Alchemy. So after that SQL Alchemy, we need to generate OTP. We use this library, pyotp. We use pyotp, not this pyotp. So after that, you're going to use we are going to use the library for QR code. So we know we are going to need the QR code. Then you use pair. So after that, what you're going to use also Flask login for your Flask login. So after that, so as I told you, Flask Alchemy is for database. Then for pyotp is for generation and verification, OTP generation and verification. Then QR code is for QR code generation with pillar support. Then Flask login is for user session management. So let me hit enter for installing this. So now we have already finished it to install our libraries. So now what we need a way to start it to write the codes. So the way to start with the backend. So for backend, what we need the database. The way to configure database. Let's create a Python file. Let's call it config. This is a database configurations. So let's write a code p. Let's use dp config. So which is going to be equal to a way to use. We need the host. So host, you are going to use localhost because we are using our PC. If you are using remote PC, you can use its IP address. So host is going to be localhost. Localhost. Then you are going to need the user of our database. So user is going to be great user. It is a lot. And for password, there is no password. So it is password. It's empty. Then for database, we need the database name. So database, we are going to use existing one, MFA. For time, we are going to use existing one. It's MFA system. Just for time management. But as you know, for web frameworks that you use, we need a security key. So for session security, so for Flask, we use a secret key for two cryptographic or signed session cookies. So it will prevent tampering. For user, for example, users can't modify their session data. Then it will prevent forgery. So attackers can't create fake session cookies. So another things here, if attacker can't create a session cookies without a proper secret key, session data become insecure. Example of vulnerability without a secret key. There are so many. I will show you after this video. But you're going to set a security key. So to set a security key, let's declare it. We will generate it after. So let's declare it. So let's use secret. Let's use security key. So which is going to be equal something. So after that, we are going to create our application. So for application, what we need now, we need to create a new Python file. Let's call it app. So now we need to import a Flask from Flask. Import Flask. We also need to render template. We need to render templates for HTML, CSS, other things. So let's import render template. See? Sorry. Render template. Sorry for that. So after this render template, we need also the request. So other thing that we need here is redirection. So we need the redirect. Then we need the URL for URL root. We also need here we need a session for users. Session. Then after that, we need fresh. So after that, we needed to import connector. So here we needed to import connector. So let's use MySQL dot connector. So after that, but what is the issue? Let's check the library that's installed. Is there any issue? So let's add MySQL. But that's what the issue. Bill 64. You also need to import my but let's use byte.io. So after that, we need datetime. From datetime, import anytime data. So after that, we need security. So from let's use workzog.security. So import the generated the password hash and check password hash. So after that, we need to import from this file our secret key and DB configuration. So from config for this one DB config, and we also need secret. But let me use the calculator. Secret key. So that's why this. Sorry. So now, after that, what we need is for app. So now app for which is laptop. It's Flask. So now after that, we need the app dot security key, which is going to be equal to security key. Then we need also app dot we need the session, permanent session lifetime, which is going to be equal to time delta. For example, we're going to use for session, we need the minutes of, for example, let's use 30. So after that, what we need, we are going to configure connection from DB. So how we are going to get connection? So let's use define gal DB. Let's use DB connection. So now what we need is let's use try and catch block. Try return MySQL dot. Let's use MySQL dot connect. So now we need db config. So after that, we need the exception. So we use except. So we use either as E, for example. So now we need let's find a message. Let's use a message of print, for example, database connection error. This is the error that's have to receive if there is database connection error. So after that, return nothing. For example, return none. It use none. So that's what the issue. But we needed to import this. So to import this, let's use the MySQL connector. Let's use the import. Let's use the from MySQL connector import. Yeah. So now it is removed. So now what we need now is to define routes. So to define the routes, let's do it like that. Let's use this app.route. You're going to do it this quickly. So the app.route, let's use this rush. So to define a home, for example. So now what we need is to return. We're going to go directly to login. The direct. So this is 0 for location. Then we have to go to login, for example. So after that, app.route, but we still need this at app.route. Let me close this. App.route. We need, for example, register endpoint. Register. So method that we're going to use, methods that we're going to use, let's use get and post. So get, get, and so we're going to use get and post, for example. So after that, let's define register. I'm going to do this quickly. So now if it is for request dot methods have it to be equal to post, because for creating something on server side. So post username have it to be equal to requests dot, we need a form for frontend. So let's use form This is gonna be username. We use this on form. So after that, you're going to use a password. Let's declare password. It's going to be generated hash password hash. So which is going to be request dot form. So on the form we have a password where we have input type equal password. So now after that, the connection is going to be equal to that DB connection. So if connection, it use a try. So cursor is going to be equal cursor. Let's use con dot cursor. Then you're going to create a query to insert data into. We already have a users table. So we have created cursor dot execute. So for table, we're going to insert something. So insert into. Let me show you something. Localhost. I'm going to access MFA database. So this is MFA database that you're using. You see table is the users. So can you get describe users? Let's run this. You see, have a field name of ID, username, password, MFA secret is MFA setup, and you created the art. So this is our database and table, but I will also share this source code. Join my WhatsApp group in the video description. So insert into users. In users we are going to have username and the password. So for this password, password, then values. So I need is the percentage string. So after that, what I need is a username, this and password. Username and the password. So this one are this username and password. So after that, but let me put it let me see what is missing. I have to put something here. So now let's do save on dot for me commit. So after that we need fresh as a message. So we need to say registration is successful. Please log in. And we need method success, for example. So after that, we need to return to login. For example, we are going to return to login. So let's redirect to location URL for, and we need login endpoint. So now after that, let's use accept as. So accept as E. So let's have a message, a way to check if the name of username is already exists. So if you are clicking, so fresh, let's username, let's use username, username, let's use username already exist, and it is not allowed. So now what we need, we have it to declare the final function. So then if connection dot it is connected, have it to close cursor dot close. We also need it to close the connection. So now after that, what you're going to do, you're going to create the endpoint for login, but we need to redirect for this for register. We need to create a file called the register for HTML. But we create it after. So let me return something. Let's return in the templates. In the template, so we need the register, for example, .html. I think so. So we can create a create a new folder. It is a directory. So I'm going to create register.html. See, now it is created, but you are still here. So now we are going to go with .root. I also need the login endpoint. So after login endpoint, I need the methods. So it's gonna be the way to use get in the post. So after that, what we need is to define a function. We need the login function. So if it is a condition, if request dot method equal post, username as a variable content request dot form username from form. If it is equal, then use a password which is going to be equal to request dot form that use a password. Then condition, first connection is going to be equal to girl DB connection. So if connection, we need try and catch cursor gonna be equal to con dot pass, but if dictionary true. So after that cursor, we're going to execute query that check from password, username and password, if they meet with the one which is stored in database. So use select from users where username equal, it's gonna be percentage this one here, this one here, it is what I'm writing here. And let's declare user is going to be password dot let use phone. So after that, you're going to check for password. So if user and check password hash. So we need user password to session session with user ID be equal to, let me use equal to user ID from DB from table. So then session username gonna be to user, then username confirm. So after that, I'm going to set up MFA, multi-factor authentication. If user is a user, so if the credentials is a true, you're going to use MFA 0. So after that, we have it to return. So So redirect, you need URL for all, then you will need the multi-factor authentication and verification. So let's call it MFA verify. So we will have it. So after that, let's have it to be with a single quote. I think let me add it in that way. So after that, we also need to return. We are going to set MFA setup. So return, let's use return. So let's redirect. Then URL follow. We need MFA syrup. After that, if there is some invalid credentials, let's display message of invalid username or password. So it's danger. Let's make it danger. Danger. So after that, you need the exception. So accept error as E. So let's display message of, for example, database error. It is also there. So now after that, this MFA setup needed to be something. It needed to be somewhere like this. So after that, finally, what we need now is the, for example, if connection, if a connection is connected, then close it. So you also close. So now we needed to return so we need to return always login with HTML. So let me create it. Login. So now after that, hear more about this because it is MFA. The way to set MFA. So what we need now is data up .route. You're going to do it quickly, but with MFA. So MFA, this is the endpoint that you're going to use. Setup. what we need is the method that we wait use. Methods is going to be equal to get post. So after that's now what we need is to define function of MFA. Let's say wrap. So for MFA setup, what we need is if we choose user ID to scan your name, not let's use user ID, not in a session. What we need now is to return it to login. So let's redirect the location. Let's return to login again. So after that, if request dot so if it's equal post, so let's use OTP variable. It's gonna be request dot form await every form of OTP. So after that, need user ID call session. So session user ID. So now what we need is a connection. So connection for get connection, we use if connection is a true, if connection. So try, use a try. Also, it's gonna be equal to connection dot class, and in a dictionary it's gonna be true. So after that, you will execute cursor dot execute. We need select MFA secret from users where ID for intelligence. So user ID and you're going to use user. It's gonna be equal to cursor dot it is fetch one. So after fetch one, we need if user and user MFA secret. So OTP time OTP is gonna be pyotp that will be user MFA they're using MFA secret. So after that, if TOTP equal to that is not true. If path dot hs dot verify way to verify OTP. So then we need to execute something. So what you're going to do is to update if we delay. Update users set. Let's use capital letter set is use MFA Sarah equal true. Here let's use a capital letter. So where ID equal, it is percentages. So percentages. But still needs something like user ID. Then you can save. So connection. So connection data commit. After that, we need the session to be verified. So MFA verified is going to be equal to true. So after that, we have it to display message for MFA setup successful. But you still need this something. Successfully. This is success. So after that, Russian MFA successfully. Address. Let's add it here. So now after that, we have it to return. So you have it to return what you need to return is the endpoint of we create a dashboard. Let's have it to be in single dashboard. Then after that, return a message from invalid. Let's use invalid OTP. Please try again. It's gonna be on danger. So accept, let's use accept, you know, flash message in body. Let's use database. You know, which is gonna be okay, and it is danger. So after that, now finally we need if connection is connected because I said that close connection dot cross. So after that, now what we need now is connection, which is going to be DB connection, and if one try. So casa is gonna be equal to casa dot not casa connection dot casa. They make it condition might true. So after that, so let's execute the session. So